Bart sneaks around the corner of the school building, pulling out a bag of marbles. Today's the day, Skinner. You're going down. As Bart prepares to scatter the marbles in front of Principal Skinner's office, Lisa appears, arms crossed. Really, Bart? Marbles? How original. Why not just slap a kick me sign on his back while you're at it? Lisa, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in class. Oh, I was, until I remembered I have more important work, like making sure you don't screw up our family name. Rolling his eyes, like you haven't already done that with your perfect little girl routine. At least Principal Skinner appreciates it. In fact, Lisa pulls a small magnet from her pocket, hovering it over Bart's marbles, pulling them up before he can react. You're going to have to try harder next time. That's it. You're going down, Lisa? Bart gets a restraining order. Marge sits on the couch, flipping through a magazine. Bart storms in, holding up a restraining order. Marge, it's official. Lisa's banned from coming within 20 feet of me. Marge, looking up in shock. What? Why on earth would you need a restraining order against your sister? Because she's been sabotaging my life. Every time I try to do anything, she's there. Playing teacher's pet or tattling on me. Now it's time she gets a taste of her own medicine. Marge takes the paper from Bart and reads it over, her expression hardening. Bart, this is serious. You're going to have to live by this, too. Oh, I will. And Lisa won't know what hit her. Cue a montage of Bart gleefully dictating Lisa's every movement. Lisa, you can't sit at the dinner table. It's too close. Lisa sighs. Forced to eat in the garage. No, Lisa. The school's too close. Principal Skinner said so. You'll have to go home. Lisa is escorted out of the school by 2 security guards. Sorry, Lisa. Jazz night at Moe's is off limits, too. Lisa angrily leaves Moe's Tavern as Bart lounges smugly in the audience. Scene 3. Marge finds out. Simpson's house, kitchen. Marge is sitting at the kitchen table, holding a medical report with a look of deep concern. Bart, I just saw some concerning things in your medical records. Why did you tell me Lisa has been kicking you? Bart, sitting across from her, shrugs nonchalantly. I didn't think it was a big deal. Not a big deal? She's kicked you every day this week. No wonder you got that restraining order, smirks. Yeah, now she's getting what she deserves. Marge looks conflicted, but eventually nods. Well, I guess it's only fair. Scene 4. Lisa goes farful. Lisa sits alone in a tent, surrounded by sleeping bags, books, and a half-eaten sandwich. Her hair is disheveled, and her eyes are wide with frustration. The camera zooms in as she mutters to herself. I'm the perfect student. I do everything right. Why does Bart get away with everything? It's not fair. Not fair. Suddenly, Lisa snaps, throwing her book across the yard. This isn't fair! I can't take it anymore! Maggie, watching from the window, looks mildly concerned as Lisa starts pacing frantically, ranting to herself. Bart thinks he's won, but this isn't over. I'll show him. I'll show all of them. The camera zooms in on the backyard, where Lisa sits in her makeshift campsite. It's dimly lit by a single lantern, and the wind rustles the tent. Lisa, normally composed and intellectual, now looks disheveled and frazzled, talking to herself while clutching a crumpled notebook. I follow the rules. I'm a good student, I get straight A's, I'm talented. Why do things always go Bart's way? It's not fair. It's not fair. She stands up suddenly, pacing in front of her tent. I work so hard, and for what? To be kicked out of my own house, to be thrown out of school, to miss jazz night. What's the point of being good if no one cares? She stomps around the backyard, her face flushed with frustration. Her rant becomes more unhinged as she continues. Lisa, I'm the smart one. I'm the talented one. But Bart's the one who gets the attention. Bart's the one who can break the rules and everyone just laughs. And now, he's banished me from my own life. Lisa grabs a nearby garden gnome and throws it across the yard in a fit of rage. It crashes into a tree with a loud thud. Inside the house, Maggie is still watching through the window, her pacifier falling out in surprise. Lisa turns and catches her reflection in the sliding glass door, which only fuels her anger. Lisa, screaming at her reflection, "What am I doing out here? I'm a Simpson. This is my home. This is my life. Bart doesn't get to win. He doesn't get to win." She suddenly stops, her breath coming in short, ragged bursts as the weight of her emotions catches up with her. Tears well up in her eyes, but she furiously wipes them away. Lisa, muttering again, "No." But it's not just Bart, it's everyone. It's Skinner, it's the school, it's Marge, it's this whole stupid town that doesn't care how hard I try. I'm alone. She collapses onto the ground, sitting with her knees pulled to her chest, rocking slightly. Her voice becomes a whisper, a mix of sorrow and anger. I'm the good one. I'm supposed to be the good one. A few moments of silence pass. Then something shifts in her expression. Her face hardens and she slowly stands back up, her eyes gleaming with determination and a touch of madness. No more being the good one. It's time for a new Lisa. She walks over to her tent, pulling out a large notebook labeled Bart's Weaknesses, Research and Plan. She flips through the pages, her eyes narrowing. I've been holding back for too long. You want a villain, Bart? You've got one. She begins scribbling furiously in her notebook, plotting her next move. The camera zooms in on her face, her expression now twisted in a mixture of determination and bitterness. We can make Lisa's meltdown even more chaotic by showing her failed attempt to study Bart, which drives her further into madness, eventually leading to her mental regression into a feral state. Here's the expanded scene with those changes. Scene 4. Lisa's meltdown. Lisa sits cross-legged in her makeshift campsite. The soft glow from her lantern flickers against her exhausted, wide-eyed face. In front of her is a large notebook labeled Bart's Weaknesses, Research and Plan, filled with scribbles, charts, and failed strategies. Lisa, muttering to herself, "There's got to be a pattern. Something I missed. Bart isn't smarter than me. He can't be. He always messes up somehow. How does he keep winning?" She pulls at her hair in frustration, flipping through the notebook. Each page contains detailed observations of Bart's behavior from over the years, but nothing connects the dots like she expects. Let's see. Bart acts impulsively, but somehow everything works out for him. He doesn't think things through, yet people love him. Why? Why doesn't this make sense? She starts pacing frantically, the notebook clutched in her hand. Her voice grows louder, more erratic. I've tracked his pranks, his schemes, his every failure. There's no logic to it. How does Bart keep winning? Her movements become more wild as she throws the notebook to the ground in frustration. The camera zooms in on her increasingly frantic expression. Lisa, Bart is chaos. He's an agent of pure, stupid chaos. How can I fight that when nothing makes sense anymore? Lisa is crouched in the middle of her makeshift campsite. Her hair is matted, her clothes are torn and dirty, and her eyes are wide and wild. She no longer speaks in full sentences, but instead mutters and growls under her breath. Smart. Not enough. Must be something else. She starts sniffing the air, her eyes darting around the yard as if sensing something unseen. Her fingers dig into the dirt, and her posture becomes more animal-like. Slowly, she gets down on all fours, abandoning any semblance of her former self. No thinking anymore. Thinking is for prey. Suddenly, she pounces at the base of a tree, clawing at the bark and making guttural sounds. The once composed and logical Lisa is now fully regressed into a feral creature, driven entirely by instinct. Cut to in Simpson's living room, Maggie's POV. Maggie is still watching from the window, her face pressed against the glass. Her pacifier falls out as she witnesses Lisa running around on all fours in the backyard. Maggie. She watches as Lisa sniffs the ground like a predator on the hunt. Maggie sucks in her pacifier nervously, eyes glued to the scene. Lisa is now prowling the backyard on all fours, her hands and feet moving in sync like a wild animal. Her face is twisted into a snarl as she glares at the moon, letting out low, menacing growls. Lisa, Bart. Must stop Bart. She suddenly sprints toward a bush, tackling it as if it's prey. She bites into the leaves, shaking her head wildly. Dirt and leaves fly everywhere as she rolls around, snarling and grunting. She scratches at the ground, throwing dirt behind her, like a dog digging for a bone. Her fingers claw into the earth, her once sharp mind now completely overtaken by raw instinct. Lisa must destroy Bart! Her voice is no longer coherent. It's more of a growl, punctuated by hisses and snarls. She bares her teeth, crawling in circles, her movements erratic and unpredictable. Marge stands at the window, watching Lisa's wild behavior in disbelief. Homer, oblivious to the chaos, enters the room with a beer in hand. Hey Marge, what's up with Lisa? She trying out a new yoga routine or something? Look at her. Homer peers out the window, seeing Lisa crawling on all fours and howling at the moon. She'll snap out of it, eventually. Lisa continues to scavenge the yard, sniffing at random patches of dirt. She spots a small garden gnome and hisses at it before tackling it to the ground, tearing off its hat with her teeth. Lisa. Threat to the pack. Must eliminate. She growls, tossing the broken gnome aside and prowling around the yard again. Her hair is tangled, her hands and knees covered in dirt, and her face streaked with mud. She no longer recognizes the world around her, only